Hoof and mouth disease?
Yeah, mine did too.
Hoof and mouth disease.
Yeah, that's real disease.
Yes.
And it can be not so bad, or
Or
kids were just.
The kids can be miserable.
Yeah, see
Well,
pictures of it.
My 6-year-old brought it home from school. Then, her twin got it. And now the 2-year-old's got it. Now my son has it. And now my granddaughter, who's 1, has it. And these are 2 different families. So,
It's going around the school, my neighbors
It is.
had it about, 3 weeks ago.
yeah, that's when Ada
Judy,
came home with it 3 weeks ago.
that's how you get
But every
Dwight to
week
come to-
somebody else gets it.
Come to see us. Offer him food.
I did. Okay, I'm gonna call the meeting to order. It's 1 o'clock. And the reason, I'm just gonna be kind of quick about this is I have been trying all summer to get a quorum. And now Ben's not here, so we don't have a quorum. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the board packet says we're 9. So half of 9 is 5. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh my gosh, so we made it.
Yay.
We can have a meeting. Fantastic. Thank you so much for coming, everyone. You do have the agenda in front of you. They're up here if you need
That's okay.
copies.
I'll
All right.
just listen.
I'll get me one.
If you wanted to add anything, now would be the time to do it. Deb, do you have anything you want to add?
I would like to add something.
What would you like to add,
I would
Ray?
like to discuss the option of lowering to 7 members so that we have a quorum more often.
I would appreciate that. I will
I
put
can make
that
motion
under
if we need to do
new
that.
business. Reduce the board number to 7.
Is anybody applying for that position?
What position?
All right.
Empty positions.
So I would call for the approval of the agenda as amended. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. We'll use this as the agenda. Deb has provided us minutes from our June meeting. She sent them to you via email as well as they're printed right here. Under old business, where it says Judy Gardy presented our plan to the BOT and it was approved. During the strategic planning meeting, Ryan said it was accepted and stuck in a drawer. So I doubt that he would agree that it was approved when referring to it.
Accepted is not approved.
When referring to it in the strategic planning session, he said it was accepted and stuck in the drawer.
Now, did you say that last time? Did you say that at the meeting?
No, because they only met the strategic planning group in a workshop
I'm with you, okay.
last week on Friday.
Well, that was our
So-
second meeting.
I know, but that's where he said it
Yeah.
was Friday.
Okay,
So I would suggest we change approved,
To accept it.
to accepted.
You got it. And that was under what heading, I'm sorry?
5, old business.
Okay.
So he trashed us, in other words. By putting us in the drawer.
I have been in the drawer now for many, many months.
Yeah? Kind of dark in there, isn't it?
It's very dark. And now we're waiting for someone to open the drawer? No, does not
Not been
happen.
done yet, huh?
Does not happen, no.
So also it says during public comments, Cheryl wondered if the Senior Services Advisory Board should ask permission to help with the table during the Bass Festival in August. James stated that he would ask if that was okay. Oh, that's true. I misread it. I thought it said it would be okay, but you asked if it would be okay. They turned us down. All right, any
In the drawer.
other changes to the minutes? I call for the acceptance as amended. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Public comment.
Cheryl, you're the only public.
No public comment at this point? There's a space at the end of the meeting if you'd rather.
We should, yeah, I'll write this.
Old business, strategic plan. We turned in a strategic plan to the township board, and as I learned from the workshop, nobody paid much attention to it. The township, on the other hand, the trustees have been in the process of doing a strategic plan. I would like to talk a minute about ours first, in that I think that if we are going to move forward, we should at least take on one of the items within our strategic plan to start with, and I would suggest, and we can discuss this in detail later, the having of a greeter at the front door who would serve a dual purpose at this time. One is registering and making sure we know who lives in the township. The planning department reviewed our emergency contact list when doing an analysis for the parking study, and determined that it was pretty much 50-50 in and outside the township. And I think that perhaps if we did it ourselves and have people self-identify as living in the township and mark it on the application, even though it says DeWitt or Hazlet or East Lansing, that those are noted as Bath Township residents. That would be one of the most important reasons to have a greeter, and I think that those should be updated anyways, because there are a lot of new people at the senior center, and if something were catastrophic to happen to any of our patrons, I think it would be wise for us to know who they are and how to reach them, their family and friends, in case of emergency. So I was sitting with the card players in the morning, the hand and foot players, and it seemed to me that there were people within that group who might help us. I would say if we did it for 3 months between now and the end of the year, we have Thanksgiving, we have Christmas in there, we have all kinds of events that draw a lot of people, that we could get a good cross-section or a good representation of those people who are currently using the senior center. In order to speak and be heard, you have to have your microphone pushed on I. Are there any comments?
I have a comment or a question. Did you say that you suggest that we call attendees to the senior center, regardless of where they're coming from, whether it be Langsberg, DeWitt, we call them residents?
No, what I suggested was that we create within the senior center a greeting station.
Right.
And we start to register people so we can find out exactly where the people live who are using the senior center currently.
Okay, I misread you then.
Nancy?
They do have emergency forms for almost everybody. They're pretty darn good about doing that down there. So about the only thing you might do, in my opinion, is contact the people in that folder and find out if they are residents, Bath Township residents, even though their address may say East Lansing or whatever.
That's another way we could accomplish the goal, is by calling them. That's true. But I really think it's important to have a greeter there to welcome people to the
Oh,
senior
yes.
center as well.
I agree.
You know, where's the coffee, where's the water, how does this work? You know, you find a table to sit out, we're called to meals by table number. We're glad you're here. I just think a greeter would be, pay behind us, it's not easy to find, Linda, you know, where it is that they pay. And I would think a greeting station would be very beneficial.
We had a new gentleman come in yesterday when we were playing cards, looking for information. So
To play cards or for information?
he wanted information on the senior center. He had never been there.
Right, good,
Like,
yeah,
so I let
right,
him know, we have meals Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
right.
I didn't really talk about, I just told him we're playing euchre right now. But, and I got him a menu,
Good.
so, yeah.
Yeah, even just little stuff like that makes such a big difference, you know, come back on Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. Share a meal with us, right?
Before I forget to mention it, John Reich and I had a conversation about the senior center and how maybe, and this is just a out there thought, maybe combine the community center and the senior center And that way, you may be able to get more attendance.
We don't need more attendance, we need more places for people to sit.
Yeah, it was just a thought, and then also
Well,
I
and we
told-
do use the senior center for some of our programming, I mean, the
Right.
community center
Right.
for some of our programming.
And he just thought that that would be a better consolidation of,
Well, if we're gonna let a building sit empty and unused, it shouldn't be the senior center. We should have activities in there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, even if they're classes and not meals.
well, there's need for extra space here, so rather than.
Here?
Here. Aquí.
For meals or what?
Offices here in
How-
this
what does that
building.
have to do with the
Offices.
senior center?
Oh.
Well, then they would utilize that as an extension.
I see.
Use
So-
the senior center,
The building that is presently the senior center,
and where would they put the senior center?
I just said, move it to the community center.
I say we build a
They
new
don't even
one.
have an adequate kitchen.
Well, I know, but that would, it would have to be transferred. It's just an idea,
It's-
Judy.
Yeah, it's a lot
Okay.
smaller in space.
But there is room to expand it if we get more land.
But they won't,
Double
To
it.
expand it
yeah,
here.
they're not open to expanding what we have now, so,
Well, if you use it as a community center and again, it's just brainstorming,
It is a
Yeah.
community center. We play euchre in there
Right.
Tuesdays and Thursdays, and they don't.
and our
call it-
community rents it
And they
for
won't
other
call it a senior
purposes.
center
And
program, so it's a community center program.
The township owns more land,
Oh,
correctly?
they have 57 parcels of land, yes.
Could we
64.
not maybe build a
64?
nice new building that accommodates the township and more offices as well as a senior center? We could take a road trip. I told you about a building that's really, it has it all.
Oh, yeah, we could take a vote on that right now. I mean, we would all agree to that. But there has to be a way to fund it through a millage or, that would have to be funded through a millage.
A millage?
A millage for the seniors, for the
Is
senior
there
center.
not any way of getting some state monies?
Well, we do have a little committee on grants. She hasn't been here for 4 months, but depending on how things kind of fall out at the federal level, in my work with the Tri-County Office on Aging, the aging budgets were not cut at all in the big, beautiful bill. They remained the same. They stayed steady. They didn't get increases, but they were not cut at all. So now that we know that, it's quite possible there could be federal money and/or state money. The state budget hasn't been resolved yet, but it's quite possible we could get grant money for that. But it has to be a vision of the townships, not just of us.
right,
And it's currently not a vision of the township, even to give us 3 additional parking places so we can build an extension,
But they do
an
want,
addition.
but they do want more office space, correct?
Well, that's just a matter of fact, as a community grows, you need more staff to oversee it, to do the jobs, the planning, the ordinances, the assessing,
I say we do a
Clerk.
road trip, Judy.
Where is this land that you're talking about?
There's land right here north, that's not north, that's east of town, if I'm correct. Out there on,
Upton Road,
yes.
by the highway, over the highway.
Oh, there's 17-acre parcel there, yeah.
Parks and Rec has been looking at that for an additional park, right? Upton Road on the other side of the highway.
There's another chunk right up to Clark Road.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking.
There
I
are
don't know how many acres, it's
two,
That's not township land, though.
there is a parcel up there on Upton Road that's township
Well,
land.
the only parcel that, to my knowledge, is Bath Townships is the one right beside the highway, just south of the highway.
so
But we do have land.
Well, I did
you
it-
said
I
64
personally
properties,
didn't-
right? You said 64 properties are owned by,
That was my last count. I actually did an inventory of it and looked at every single one of them.
okay,
And most of them are in the Park Lake area. There's 49 of them over there.
What are they
Okay.
gonna do with those?
Well, as properties were
Abandoned?
abandoned, yeah, or lost by virtue of taxes, the township purchased them. And I always assumed, silly me, this was before I was on the board, that all of the parcels over there off Outer Drive were for a park or, you know, a trail or something of that nature. Now
But they
there's-
could potentially sell some to make money for the town,
what
or
I
they
would hope.
could use them for, like you said, expansion of
Yeah.
parks and that type of thing.
yeah.
And there is some land, isn't there, a big piece of land down Webster Road? After you
Yes.
get past the church on the right-hand
Yep,
side?
Yep, it's quite low, but, and there's a lot of water in it. But that's where the DPW uses, you know, for taking care of leaves and stuff like that. They just, you know, but yes, that is the other large parcel. Those are the two large parcels that the township owns. There's also a 5-acre parcel, literally just north of the middle school track that goes out to Slate Road. We used to call it the sledding hill or toboggan hill because it's up and you can slide down it. But
So Nancy,
that's a 5-acre parcel.
to answer your question, yes, there is the possibility that there could be state or federal money available for the senior center. Again, we'd have to look for grants. I don't think that there's anybody who has that assignment on the part of the township staff. So it would be something that we would have to bring to their attention. And I think that if we continue to function as an organization, it's one of the priorities that we should have, is looking for grants for a new senior center. But to get back to my original question about whether or not we might want to articulate and organize for a greeter at the senior center, what are your thoughts?
Okay, I'm just gonna say, sadly, I don't think there's a future in it because they wouldn't even let us volunteer for tables at bath days. I mean, what makes us think that they're gonna let us volunteer in any capacity? It's like if it's not their idea, it gets shot down. I mean, it doesn't matter the benefit, the upside, downside, it doesn't matter. They don't want us involved. So how is this gonna be different? I mean, I wish, I'm just a messenger. I don't agree with that mindset, but my goodness, it doesn't make sense. And I look at it and I think, it looks like pridefulness. I don't know that it's pridefulness. I don't know what it is, but that's what it appears to be.
What is it?
Pridefulness.
Pridefulness?
Yes, that if it's not their idea, there can be no value in it. When we were here and had a meeting in front of the board several months ago, comments were made from various board members that mocked us as a group. And I got up and I explained, when you make someone appear unreasonable, you silence their voices. And that's what's been happening tonight. And that's, people were literally laughing at us, saying, well, gee, why are they so involved in getting expanding when we haven't even expressed an interest in doing that? Like, isn't that, and like laughing and chortling over that? And it's like, but you paid for an architect. So clearly, as I said in the meeting, clearly there was interest in at least exploring the idea. But they made it sound like we went off half-cocked, without any kind of encouragement or anything. And they keep doing this to us. They make us appear ridiculous. And there's no need for it. We are a resource. And if they saw us as a resource, that would just be amazing. Think what we could accomplish for this town. All of this experience and work ethic, people willing to help and yet shut down and without reason, without explanation. And we're citizens. We shouldn't be treated as less than because we serve on this board, and I feel like we are.
I couldn't agree with you more.
One of the things I've observed, I'm just new on the board, so, and on this board, but this, correct me if I'm wrong, this is an advisory board. It's not you're not employees of, and this is what I understand by, the powers that be, if you will, is that I say we, this group here, are clashing with staff because those are staff positions over there. And that's a staff, pretty much a staff-run entity of the township. And the view is that an advisory board doesn't do what you wanna do over there. You're just, you simply.
Being a community
advise.
volunteer is not trying to take someone's job, and
Well,
it's
that's
not
true.
trying to
That's-
undermine someone, not trying to undermine management or administration. It's simply wanting to improve your community and have that service be more welcoming, and to make it, to twist it into some type of adversarial attack on their authority is wrong, and that's the narrative that we keep fighting against. We know we're an advisory board, but part of our job is also to get information so that we can give good advice, so that we can be knowledgeable. And we're not being treated with respect. We are being silenced, and we're being minimized in this community. And I keep hearing that, and I get where you're coming from, I do. But it's that you're just advisory. But we're also citizens. We're citizens who want to help our community. And we should not be,
And we've been-
we should not be stopped and dismissed because we serve on this board. I hope that if someone else came to this administration and said, hey, I would love to do such and such to help out at the senior center, I would hope they would not be told, hey, you're not an employee. Don't step on our toes. Don't overstep. You're just here to be a citizen. I would hope they would be welcoming and encourage community involvement. That's all we're talking about. But when you make it about something else, nothing happens, and that's the problem. Nothing changes, nothing improves. We don't come together like we need to. And that's,
If you
Dan-
make
Dan-
suggestions and they don't listen,
Mm-hmm.
what are we? I mean, isn't that part of being
a lip service.
an advisory? I mean, we're trying to advise on what might make things better.
We're appointed by the trustees to advise them on the senior center and
do that all the
senior
time.
services within the senior center. Dana?
Haven't we asked several times to give us a definition of what our role is, our job procedure as an advisory committee? And didn't they hold a meeting for us to determine what that was, and we were never mentioned once? It turned into some other kind of meeting.
Right.
Did that not happen?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
that-
I thought
that
so.
happened, yeah.
Like, I can't, I'm a member of the board, and so is Sherry, so I can't say,
Okay, okay.
I don't recall that happening, but
Yeah.
I do
Sherry-
recall.
I think it predates you.
But
Doesn't it
Sherry was
predate him?
there
What?
Doesn't it predate Ray?
as a
Being on the
trustee, yeah.
trustee, I think it
I don't
does.
think so.
But
All it was just kind of set aside. What comes to my mind is, can we become senior services committee? Then we're,
Rather than
Then we can
advisory.
do
If I can
fundraisers
say
and stuff.
something, we have talked in our strategic plan, for our strategic plans to, go over each and every committee to determine what and if they need to be in existence, and, to define what their goals are and what their, no, I don't wanna say job description, but,
No.
basically
I
that's,
would interpret your meeting at the workshop
were
on the
there.
strategic plan as the board agreeing to eliminate the senior services advisory.
100%, 100%.
join it in with the rec committee, and so we would.
yeah, there was talk about.
Dilute it
How about
completely.
we have a vote on this, that we go to become a committee, official committee, like the planning committee?
But then we're not even under the auspices of any connection to the town, and they have no obligation to listen
And the
to us
planning
at
is-
all, and there's no recorded meeting, and there's no on the record, and there's no nothing. It, just more work, more frustration. I just don't see a difference we keep coming up with ideas because we want to make things better. And it's just, I don't see how it's gonna change as long as there's this perception that we're somehow in an adversarial capacity here.
Chicken?
Sorry.
Well,
I'm sorry, I heard a chicken.
I know, and I was not being a coward just now. I know it sounded like someone saying I'm chicken. I'm not. I'm not. I'm willing to say the hard things.
So
Anyway.
I guess I would take from the conversation that we're having that we feel it's important that the current emergency contact list for the senior center be updated, kept current, and those who reside in Bath Township make it known in that process, and that we would be willing to call people and ask them on that emergency contact form whether or not they lived in Bath Township.
I'm sure they won't want us
Which
doing that.
would be a service to our community,
Yes.
because it would
It's a service.
improve the safety
It's a service.
of those who are participating in
It's a
senior activities.
Service to the senior center.
Would
Yes.
Came
probably
up
be
with more
seen
than
as,
they thought, it would be great.
seeing private information.
Confidential,
And it probably- Yes, confidential. It probably would be seen as confidential information, and they don't want us seeing
and they
it, I
won't
would
let
think.
us do it.
That's what I would think.
That's her address, and we should know in the contacts and safety, not
Well, that's all up to one of the employees, being Linda. We could suggest it maybe to Linda. She might do something like that.
Yeah, but then they're gonna say we're assigning work again, and we're trying to get away from,
That's just a
we're trying to be
suggestion.
oh, I know, we're trying to be a help.
Yes.
I mean, I guess someone could waive confidentiality of their contact information to a non-employee. I guess that could be part of the process.
How, can anybody stop us from sitting outside the door at lunchtime and saying, I'd like, for your safety, would you fill out this little form?
I'm,
Township property, I mean, is that,
If they're-
illegal?
I'm worried that people would walk over and say, this is not sanctioned. And maybe even scare some of our seniors into thinking that they were being scammed because it's not.
How about I present it to the board that we get?
I wouldn't put it past them because of the animosity. I
If
just-
we did this, if we asked the board and bring it up for an agenda item to talk about at the board, then we're gonna know where everybody stands on it. And it's,
Well, I think that my original suggestion was that we serve as greeters and have people fill out new contact forms. Update, I mean, we don't want to go through the book confidentiality, but get new contact information for people and ask them directly, do you live in Bath Township? And just put a Bath Township and circle it at the top of that. The reason I'm saying this and the reason I think it's important is that also in the discussion of the parking feasibility study, they talked about what the meals cost, right?
Yeah,
And
that was skewed.
what we are subsidizing for people who live outside the township. And if those numbers aren't right, then they're looking at misinformation. And I don't think we can afford that.
As a senior center, no.
No, because it's going to negatively impact the price of the lunch. So I think it's utterly important
I agree with you.
that we know who lives in the township and who doesn't live in the township, and capture all of that in an updated form. So the question is, how does that happen?
So let me
Can I ask a
make,
question?
no, go ahead.
How do you determine that they're telling the truth, that they are a Bath resident?
Really, Ray, I hate the fact that you asked that question.
Why?
Because these are senior citizens, and they're not gonna lie.
Well, I disagree with that.
All
I
right.
know a lot of seniors that lie.
You're allowed to disagree with us.
What I'm
with
saying
me.
is, why not, showing a driver's license or something,
Even if so, my address when I was on Wood Road was Bath, Michigan. I was not a Bath Township resident,
My address is East Lansing, so
but you are a Bath.
I am,
I was not.
as far as I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so how are you gonna find out who is a Bath resident?
Yeah, that's the question. Basically, that's a question I'm asking you.
Most people
Look-
be honest, for heaven's sakes.
I
he
think
said
any
that-
dishonesty, any potential dishonesty, is so small it would not skew the results.
Well, what
As far as, statistically.
what I'm
That's
saying-
my opinion. I don't think it would be significant enough to skew them.
What I'm saying is that Judy has mentioned that we need good data, good
Yeah.
figures. And you can't do that if things are left to that. You have to have guidelines, irrespective of how you determine you're gonna get the data. You have to have concrete guidelines to determine whether it's good,
Okay.
clean information.
A
That's
lo- a lo-
what I'm saying.
No, I get it. I mean,
I
I,
did
I
that
was
for a
a-
living, so.
forgive me.
So that's why I
was
think
math
having them
major.
fill out new forms is a way to get that information.
Silencing that would be,
Yeah, I know, I forgot. I'm sorry, I apologize. That's something I turn it off usually, so.
It hasn't been that long ago that we had new forms done, emergency contact forms done.
I don't know that I filled one out.
Oh, well,
Well, and I know I've never, and I've gone there a few times and I've never filled any out.
I haven't either.
And Ray's been in there as a patron, and he hasn't filled out a
Yeah.
form.
So
Sherry,
let
did
me
you
ask
fill out
this,
a form at the senior center for
let
emergency
me ask this
contact?
question.
Just looking right here and then counting
Yeah,
us.
there's 5 of
1,
us
2,
here.
3, 4. The majority of us haven't filled out a form.
So
So
To which I
that's
say
part of-
yikes.
That's part of my
that
point,
skews the data right there, see?
right, that's
Well,
part of
that's
my
why,
point.
that makes Judy's point, that we don't have up-to-date information. So let me ask this. When we were, put forth, our names were put forth to serve on this board, was a background check done?
no, I don't think so. Oh, on this.
On
No, I
this
don't think-
board?
I don't think that was done either, was it?
No, I never had a background
There's
check done.
there's the document that you fill out,
Yeah.
you have to certify that you're a Bath resident.
I'm not talking about residency. I'm
Oh,
talking
oh.
about a background check.
For what purpose?
To be
For
a
any
senior-
purpose.
So you can trust
To
us.
serve, so
Are
you can
a
trust
law-abiding
us.
citizen?
Yeah, do you have a criminal
Well,
background?
in the
Because
United
we represent the town to a certain degree. We represent, the seniors in this capacity that we're serving on
The
this
answer for
advisory
me is
board.
no.
Okay, so, and there's a point.
I'm
Your
listening.
Honor, I'm getting there.
I'm listening.
Asking for some grace till I make my point, sir. So, because one of the things we talked about was confidential information. Is there any reason why we can't put forth someone or multiple people as volunteers to gather this information, as a volunteer to have them sign a non-disclosure agreement, to do a background check if you want to make sure that we're a law-abiding, honest person that has not committed fraud against others, et cetera, to serve in that capacity? I mean, I'm talking about anticipating the resistance to the idea. I put myself
of what?
forth, the idea of having someone serve as a volunteer, and, what if they get confidential information, like now they've got their contact information, and who is this? They're not an employee of Bath, so we don't want them having access to that information. So the person would have to sign under penalty of perjury, under whatever, that they would, or, under potential prosecution, that they would agree that they are only doing this, serving in this capacity, gathering it for this purpose, and it will not be removed from, whatever, it'll be kept confidential. Do you understand what I'm saying? I mean, I'm trying to anticipate the argument and saying, what if we put it forth in that way, that we've got volunteers who are willing to have you do a background check, who are willing to sign, saying that they'll keep it confidential, that they will not use it for any purpose other than this information gathering for the town. That's my point.
One of my thoughts was if, say, 55% come from not Bath, then perhaps we could get money,
Yes.
because we're paying our tax money, us that would live in Bath are paying for the meals.
To subsidize.
Subsidize the whole thing, the whole facility. And one of the things I brought up at the meeting also is, don't just look at parking lot, they need to expand and make sleeping spaces for the firemen. They need more room here, the police need more room. This, to just look at parking places is a waste of time and money. That this whole campus needs to be revised, changed, possibly move. But money is an issue, the argument, always that, but that to have outside, like if some, a lot of communities don't have senior centers for food.
It is possible that we could, if the commitment was there on the part of the administration, negotiate with other municipalities, townships, to say 20% of our residents who are not living in Bath Township are coming from Langsberg.
Right.
And we would appreciate a cost share on that. We're happy to continue to keep the senior center open. I know you weren't able to keep yours open. We cost share this meal issue? But I think it's quicker to get I think we need the data,
Oh, absolutely.
you know, and I think we need accurate data. Because I think I know these important discussions are gonna happen. And so, James, how should we get this data?
I think that, I'm thinking a lot of things right now, and one is how many, we did this from September to January, everybody has to fill out new
The
applications.
last quarter, yeah.
How many different people do you think we would see that attend the center, from that group?
That had never been in, you mean, or something?
Even if they're renewing, so I look at like new memberships and renewals. We're talking about 100 people here, we're talking about 200 people. Because I think when we have that book now, it's about this thick. And I don't think we see that many seniors at this point in time.
That many
So
unique persons?
Right, so I think if we did a renewal and a new membership, we probably would get, 100, 150 back, I think, somewhere in there. And I don't think that would be too tough to track. And if we had those turned into Linda, she can, she gives them to me or someone else, then we have a list of resident and we have a list of non-resident. So we have almost initially, we have electronic copy and a hard copy, so that could be 2 books, a non-resident book and a resident book.
We could
That
call
kinda-
this a membership form, maybe?
Yeah, so I look at like the emergency contact form, like the membership form, although there's not a fee associated with that, but I still look at it. For my Boys and Girls Club days, it's membership forms, and each year, the students will have to renew, so.
Well,
Well,
when we're doing this, let's call it a membership
Register
form.
as a
Well,
patron.
there are senior centers in Michigan that require a membership.
Yes,
And where you
Or
actually
they
do
pay.
pay too,
Excuse
right?
me?
And you also pay sometimes, right?
sometimes, but
yeah.
not always.
Not
You mean
always.
for
Yeah,
the
sometimes.
membership, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
But this is
Yeah.
just a patron registration form.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
We
I
call
mean,
it-
if you called it a membership and required them to be a member to go, I mean, even if it was just to fill out a form with their contact information, that would be
A way to present it,
very much so, and I think that would be much more
welcoming and,
accepted.
yes.
And what I suggest is that we say, we as this board, put down, in order to do anything with the senior center, expand, contract, make bigger, we need a good count of members and non-members. And in that, you will always have, staff arguing that that's their job. Put it to them. How do we get this? Just say, we need this data, how are we gonna get it?
That's why it's turning to James to see
Right.
what he would
And
suggest.
he is our member of staff right now.
He is our
so-
staff member.
But yeah, if you could take that to Karen and ask her,
Nancy?
James could do that, correct?
And we can look at that, whether we call it membership or registration
Yeah.
application too, because there could be like, at the bottom, like a mini interest survey, if we had cooking, we'd be interested.
There's even-
Or what are you looking to get out the senior center, which could help with services too, so.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
So there's a couple steps we need to go on there, we need to look at the application, or I need to look at the application and see how we could change that, or. So I don't think it's gonna happen tomorrow, but I do think that it is doable.
you could even get inexpensive swipe cards, I think, with a reader, When you become a member, you get a card, when you come in to get a meal, just like that. And it gets
Well,
your,
we've talked about
attendance and
increasing the
stuff.
electronics there, so you could pay for your meals electronically, you
Yeah.
could, we actually at one time, they explored a computerized system when Dan was a supervisor, and superintendent, sorry. And it was very costly. That's one of the reasons we didn't do it. But if, James, if you could help us with that, I think it would be beneficial data, not only for us at the senior center, because I'm quite concerned that should anything happen to anyone in that senior center, I want to know how to help them. And that, for me, is vitally important.
Yeah, I mean, someone could have a heart condition and they have, if we knew that, we could look in their pockets or their wallet or their purse for a pill to put under their tongue. I mean, it could be life and death.
That's my point. It could be life or death. So for me, there's urgency there because of that. But two, I think that the data that kind of a renewal of patron registration, an annual renewal of your patron registration provides us with the best data that could be given to the township for decision-making regarding the center. So is it agreed that we should ask James to help us with that?
Yes.
Absolutely.
And convey that to,
Yeah. And most importantly, that
Administration.
they identify that they live or not in Bath Township, even though their
that's the
address
big one,
might
I
say
think.
Hazlet.
I think.
Yeah.
All right, good. That was a good discussion, thank you. Again, we are on this strategic planning discussion. The township board did their strategic planning, and they have a draft here. This is actually directing, the township board directing the administration, what they want the administration to focus on in the next few years. And I looked at the budget as well. And it seems to me that in order to answer a lot of the questions that the township is asking about the future and the growth of the township in the future, we need to know if there's enough parking out here for what they want to do and what we need to do now. So I would suggest that in this budget, there is money for contractual services, that the township trustees seriously take that parking question up and do it as part of their work for this year.
That's been, excuse me, that's been brought up. Me personally, I walked around out there and I don't know where you would put more parking.
Well, even
mean,
in the
there's
parking
there's no-
feasibility study, they determined that there is enough space out there for 3 additional places. And if we had 3 additional places, we could build an addition, not the huge expansion, but take the porch and make it a 4-season area, you know, a bigger area.
So,
So,
I don't
but
understand
in
the
order to
correlation.
anything, whether it's hire more policemen or expand the township staff or add on to the senior center, there's not enough parking. So we need to do some kind of a feasibility study so that you know where you're gonna go. If there will never be enough parking here, then you have to look for a new place.
You did just say that the study showed that we could put in 3 more parking spaces, is that right?
3 additional
So what
parking
you're,
places.
what you're
Areas,
talking about,
3 additional areas, not 3 spaces, right?
The parking study said 3 spaces.
Oh, it's only 1, 2, 3 cars?
That's
yes.
what they said.
So
Oh, okay.
What you're
All right.
talking about, Judy, are 3 people. And so, you know, when you're, and I'm just trying to explain it, when you're a board member or a staff member, your obligation is to try to save taxpayer money and use it in the most frugal way possible. Me personally, I sure as heck wouldn't spend another $15,000 to add 3 more spaces for 3 more people, whether they be police officers or firemen or whatever.
It's not cost effective.
It's just
So I
super not-
misspoke.
and
With the
it's
given
spending-
dimensions of the senior center area, staff approximates, I misspoke, 13 new parking spots can be created.
I know it's really jumbled out there. Very. That cell tower didn't do too much for us either.
But anyways.
Okay, so it's 13 spaces.
That's what you quoted off the study
It's the parking feasibility
Judy?
study that the planning board did, the planning staff
Planning
did.
commission, yeah, planning.
All right, So under new business, Ray is suggesting that we ask the Board of Trustees to reduce the number of senior services advisory board members to 7. So it's easier for us to get a quorum. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, Ray, do you want to discuss it?
Oops, there's one of,
We fought to get more people, so, but, okay, never mind. I
We
changed-
fought to get more people so we could do more work.
Right, and they won't let us do more work, so I changed my vote from a nay to a yay.
okay.
You're right, but it doesn't seem like we should do that, I mean, in my heart, because we're.
In my heart, we shouldn't either.
Right, okay.
But we're so hamstrung
Right.
that,
I agree, I'm sorry.
No,
I just had to do it once.
I appreciate that position.
I mean,
I
there's
think
a
we all
lot
have,
more-
feel the same way.
There's a lot more that we could do with more people. Outreach,
There's a lot more we can do with the people we have, that we're hands are tied, so.
right, right.
Yeah, I see it as a headbutting for, I hear you people want to be a volunteer organization to help the senior center more than an advisory group to the,
Not more
to the,
than, not more than at all.
no, but I mean, you would,
No, we feel that we are actually being treated differently than your average citizen because we serve on the board. That's how I feel. I feel like if I go to them and say I want to volunteer to do something, that the answer is going to be no right away because I serve on this board. That's how I feel.
really,
Yes, yes, I do.
I'm pretty sure that we're not allowed.
Speak to any staff, that is okay for a citizen to speak to staff.
Now, Ryan did back away from that when he,
But that was the feeling, came
but,
out loud.
yeah, that was actually stated. We were not allowed to even speak to the
who's not to
staff.
speak?
We,
There, yeah, that's the
Any of us.
history.
You were in this staff, you could not speak,
You mean in this
couldn't
group?
say hello.
Couldn't, yeah, we were not allowed to speak whatsoever. This is just before I came on.
That,
In that
there's only one word to describe that, and that's bullshit.
Well, the board accepted that.
I said shenanigans. It's very
that's
similar. Yeah, and Ryan came in, he did agree that that was wrong and that that was no longer going to be the case, but it still is, it is still the history.
no, but he agreed that we could greet them.
It was reduced to no orders, if I recall.
Right, which has always been the case.
Who's given anybody?
Making a
that's not our
suggestion
place,
is not making an order.
Right. Or asking for something or permission is not an order, it's communication, and that
It's interaction.
was drawn back just a little bit there.
Yeah,
No speaking.
yeah.
Put fuel to the fire or anything, but just as a citizen looking at that, you could, if you had somebody volunteer to be a greeter like this week and then, you know, rotate, have somebody else do it, or somebody else do it, you know, and have a sheet, sign up, do you wanna be a greeter?
People at different days.
Right.
That'd be a good idea.
Well, there
I
are a
mean,
lot of people who would help us with that.
I'll probably be overstepped, but I don't see anything wrong with that.
Well, see, that's,
I mean, you're a senior center attendee, well, hell, volunteer, or just don't say anything and go in there and do it.
that's, but see that, you're actually going further than we're going because we're like back here saying we
I
just
like
want to
that.
help and we don't feel that we would be welcomed
I like that term, how does it go, better to ask for forgiveness
than
than
permission.
than
Yeah.
permission, that's what it is.
Yep.
I was trying to think of that yesterday, and you think I could think of that last part? Permission.
I wake up in the middle of the night going, that's what that word was.
I mean, what are they gonna do, put you in jail? No.
I'm not so sure. I'm not
I say
100%
they- I say
sure.
they, hell, it's me, but, you
Yeah,
know.
I
What do you think, Cheryl? I don't understand the animosity at all.
Well, heck, I'll go right in there.
neither
and
do
see what they
we.
Well,
Neither
I
do
know, You
we.
guys have been here for years.
You know, Ray, I'm gonna tell ya,
It was really headbutting, and it was very.
I feel like today you really joined the board. No, I do. Like you get what we've been
Well, I-
trying
I-
to say.
Very much so. I've been on the Park Lake Advisory Board, I've been on when there was a Parks and Rec Board, I've been there. And, we make suggestions, and we do our work, and we take the time out of our lives to do it, and we make the suggestions, and they go, yeah, okay. And they don't do anything about it, and that's the past.
Well, I think it has to do with
Board,
communication.
yes, very much so. And one of the things we talked about in the strategic plan, are things that we should do, have to do, are to periodically like maybe, I suggested it every other month, but, you know, quarterly, and then somebody said even yearly, but I think that's too far out, is to have the heads of each and every committee that we are going to have do a report to the board.
We do a report to the board.
Well, I know, you're one of the few that do, and so does Park Lake Advisory Board, and of course the Planning Commission, but that's statutory. So, that was one of my suggestions also. To get more feedback from the committees.
Well, I think that part of the problem that I see is that as they work towards reducing the input from community groups, like the Senior Services Advisory Board and who we are and what we represent and the work that we do, to saying, if you have a problem, go to Karen, because communication is difficult. I think that the board has to be kept in the loop, and I think that the community voice for issues and concerns related to the programs and services of any part of government need to come through a community board.
Okay,
You
you're
look
talking
at
about
the
two different
police,
things.
you look at the police and fire board. They talked during the strategic planning process workshop about eliminating the police and fire board. If I have a problem with the police department, now I have no place to go to express that concern.
Go to the chief.
Well, that's not gonna help. What if my complaint is against the chief? So there's no police fire board for us to go and speak to hear our concerns and to help solve a problem? And to bring that issue back to the administration? I think it's wrong. That's a personal opinion I'm going to express.
Yeah, I think what I hear you talking about are two completely different groups. This is a township advisory board that was formed by the township. You're talking a community group, which is,
No, the police and fire board is not a community group.
no, you're talking a community group. Previous to this, you said anyway, you said that you want a community group.
We represent the community.
But
We
you-
are appointed by the township board to represent the community. That's who we represent.
Okay, how
As
about,
do you.
how about official and non-official? You're an official because you have to be approved by the supervisor to be on any board.
We are approved.
I know that, but what I'm trying to say is that you said
Forget what you heard.
5 minutes
That's what
ago
I
that you
meant.
wanted a community group.
We are, never mind what you heard. What I meant was that we are the community group, but never mind.
Consider me
We're,
struck, just take all that out of there.
we're up to the recreation coordinators report. I will say that, I have been working with James over the last couple of months, and he's been very helpful in bringing Project Fresh for seniors, application and sign up to, the senior center that, is very important for our seniors. Also, he, helped us bring a speaker from the Tri-County Office on Aging to, talk about Medicaid 101 to help seniors understand what the changes are that we are looking forward to in the Medicaid, Medicare program. And right now, we have a Matter of Balance, a class that's going on at the senior center. I went to the first one last week. There are 35 people at that class. So it's a class that's much needed, and we've also been talking about a couple of other opportunities for engagement. So how's it going, James?
Well, yeah, you kinda summed it up, thank you for that.
He was looking at your notes.
We did have a Smiles on Wheels group come to an oral assessment on August 27th. And I was surprised, a lot of seniors,
Showed up?
yeah, and participated. Afterwards, they had a bingo game for patrons, and I was shocked again because like 10 to 15 seniors stayed behind and won some goodies from these Smiles on Wheels groups. So, kind of piggybacking off what Judy said, we saw 35 at the Matter of Balance class. So I think that the buy-in as far as programs that it's
Go or no go?
yeah, it's getting better, I guess. I know the last meeting we had, I talked about recruitment. And it seems like, having sign-up sheets and doing the questionnaires or surveys, and following up with the members is really working, and it's nice to see, the growth as far as programming.
We've never had anybody like you, you know, to take the helm and coordinate and stuff like that.
That's not true. But
To my
anyways,
knowledge.
all right.
Originally, it was
Put that
done
in
by
there, yeah, to my knowledge.
the,
I don't
We
have,
had a full-time
do
director.
yeah,
We had a full-time director.
I'm gonna disregard the whole
That was her
exchange.
job.
We're not on the, this is not the only committee we do this at.
Yeah.
So, cooking for one, we had talked about that. What might be in the future?
Well, and that's what, you know, I'm thinking about how to gauge interest on, you know, the next class after matter of balance, 'cause I would like it to flow together. And, you know, while we have this group, talking with them about the next class and seeing their interest. So I don't know if that's a survey, if it's cooking 101 or diabetes prevention, but kind of stagger each one along. So we have matter of balance now. The next, you know, if we do cooking 101 and then that diabetes prevention, and just kind of keep it going and keep those 6 week programs going throughout the year.
how long is this matter of balance going?
8 weeks.
8 weeks?
September 10th to October 29th.
So it just recently started.
Yes, last week.
I was not aware. I think I'd like to be there.
The first class is right now. I mean, I told him I was really sorry that I had to be here today, because I signed up for the class. I can't go next Wednesday either, but I will go as many Wednesdays as I can. And I brought someone else today too, and there's another woman in the neighborhood I'd like to bring, but I wasn't able to get her out of her house today. So James is open to suggestions, and he's been working with patrons to get their interest and do some surveys along that line. I think it's great to have James here to help us with the activities part of the senior center. I will say that in part of the discussion during the workshop about the elimination of the Senior Services Advisory Board, it was suggested that we be folded into the rec committee. That the Senior Services Advisory Board would no longer exist, but that we would be a voice, that we would have a representative on the rec committee to try to encourage the continuation of programs and activities for seniors as a part of James's full-time job.
Can I speak?
Yeah.
That was stated by the consultant. That was his suggestion to us. That wasn't the board that came up with that suggestion to put the Senior Services Board in with the Recreation Board, Recreation Advisory, which is now,
What is the committee called now? Cheryl, you're on that committee?
formerly Parks and Rec.
I know,
but
what
now
is
it's called the Recreation Advisory Group or Recreation Advisory Committee.
Is that what it's called?
Yes. And, yeah, recreation advisory committee.
And you're the head of that, correct?
No.
No?
He's a
He's a
staff
staff
member
person.
that goes there.
Oh, okay.
Adam Montry is the chairman of that. You know him?
No?
He used to be the chairman of the farmer's market.
He did the Bath Fest. He put that together. His energy put the Bath Fest party.
And that was the first, they put the farmer's market, the Parks and Rec, and what was the other one? Recreation. No, Parks and Rec,
He came right.
They
That
put the
group.
farmer's market
Farmer's
in with
market.
Parks and Rec.
yeah, they combined those.
BOT update, that's you.
Yep, as you stated very eloquently that we've had strategic planning, because to my knowledge, I've understood that the boards past have never had a real strategic plan. So that was one of the
Goals.
thank you, that what would I do without you? That Ryan came up with that he wanted to do for the township, and I think it's a great idea, is, I mean, you don't know if you don't know what foot to put forward, you know, how you're gonna improve anything. So that's me personally, what I'm trying to do, and I think that's what Sherry's trying to do, and what Ryan and the others are trying to do. So, I think we have a lot of new heads and new thoughts coming in. You know, we're gonna make mistakes, cause we're not professional politicians, for lack of a better term. But, the biggest thing you can do is listen, you know? But anyway, back to the strategic plan, and there was talk of evaluating each committee, and that was part of the consultant's pay was for to advise us on what he thought we should do, because his background, he was actually the president of the Michigan Township Association for like 25 years. I mean, he's not a newbie. He really knows how townships work. And he's seen what works good, what doesn't. So that was why we hired him to advise us. He's like one of our oracles. And I like him, you know, he had some ideas that I didn't agree with, but there were a lot of them that I did agree with. So the report will come out, when did he say, Judy? October 1, something like that?
Yep.
So we'll see that, and it'll be public, so you'll be able to see what his recommendations are and all that good stuff. What else? Well, you don't, that's Park Lake,
Budget,
Friends of Park Lake. The budget is out, came out, the working day after September 1. And, basically there are some shaving, I guess it's about 400,000, as I recall, less than last year. And it may go down because of other cuts that need to be made to have a good budget.
So we've made that many cuts, and yet we've hired new police officers, haven't we? Or we're looking
Well,
for
there's-
more officers?
There's things that you have to do that cost money, so in order, first of all, you determine what has to be done, or, you know, in the township's best interest. And then, if you have other stuff that wants to be done, you weigh that against what has to be done, and if you need a little bit of money out of here to go over here, then that's what you're gonna do. You have a finite amount of money, and you try to figure out how many pieces of pie am I gonna make that into? So sometimes you gotta shuffle all over the place.
And sometimes there's no whipped cream on top,
Well,
so.
exactly, no cherry either. I'm still learning about it, I'm trying my very best to learn about it. I did really well in accounting in college, but I'm not doing so good in budgeting for a township, so I'm glad I don't run it. But I do have a say in it, so.
So what were you saying about the 400,000? What about that figure?
As I recall, Judy, this is Judy. As I recall, Karen stated that her budget for 2026 was that much less than 2025.
So there's been a reduction in the,
Yeah. and the
Proposed
services,
budget.
You know, in the revenue even, because, you know, that's what you do, you try to figure out how much money you're gonna bring in.
how is revenue not increasing when taxes are going up? How is that possible when we have,
Well,
I mean, hundreds of dollars
The-
of
the
every house?
sewer
How does that
billing-
not?
Sewer building is probably the biggest expenditure that we have.
Roads.
In the roads, and that was big this year too.
Okay. But that doesn't reduce, though, revenue. That reduces, or that increases
It
costs.
increases your spending, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But she anticipates, this is how I read it, she anticipates, more expenses and less revenue.
Okay.
You
We need
know,
to sell
as-
some of those properties
as you
to
grow-
people so that we create
There you
a
go.
better tax base.
Say that again?
We need to sell some of those 64 properties to citizens so they can renovate them, create a bigger tax base, and have incoming money instead of having them being an asset that actually costs money to the township.
Good idea, Deb.
You should put that in a suggestion box. We've actually talked about that.
Yeah. Maybe pick some and have like an auction?
Polyaqua is the biggest one. You probably never heard of that. It was a subdivision that never came to be. And it's
Oh.
off, you know, out between Webster and Outer Drive.
Okay.
That strip, if you look at a map, you can see it. But, a lot of it's underwater now, so that would have to be evaluated too.
I will say, looking again at the budget, which you were just talking about, Ray, that the actual cost of the senior center meals from the beginning of the fiscal year till the end of August, the actual cost of the meals, the revenue. The revenue from senior center meals was $31,968.25. And the food expense for that same period was $28,959.26.
So we're good on the actual food, but then there's labor for the cooks, correct? That's not part of that number.
Right, and there's also what we call plant and equipment, which is the lights. and-
Keeping the lights on, I get it.
and all
I was
that,
an
so that's what they
I'm
call
in
it.
accounting,
Yeah.
so I know
Oh, you
this.
are?
Yeah,
Oh, okay, well,
Yeah.
you know that.
I do.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
I'm
not all,
surprised that I knew that.
that's not all
I
necessary.
was impressed, yeah.
That's
Like
not
I
all
said,
nec-
welcome to the board. I'm sorry, go ahead.
That's right. It's not all necessarily senior center, cost, when you start talking lights and heat and so on, though.
Right, to apply it all to the meals would be inappropriate.
Oh, heavens, yeah.
Because we're only open Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Not just that, because there are other services being provided and other activities that are using the light and the heat and the, you
Oh,
know,
we're
and
paying.
et cetera.
And the bills are really the only revenue inbound you're having. You know,
Right,
so
right.
that's-
So they're actually, see, now we're talking cooking with gas here. We're actually cooking, literally cooking.
Yeah,
Any other comments that you'd like to make, Ray, or does anyone have questions for Ray or Sherry?
I got off on a tangent there, sorry. It was her fault.
It's always,
Public comments, Sherry, it's up to you.
I'd sure like to see us serve meals 5 days a week at the senior center, be open, a little more welcoming for, I bet we're not even open to pre-COVID days, right?
Come join our euchre on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and you can eat from our
Buffet.
food that comes in.
Oh, you bring your own food?
Yes, we do.
Yes. Wow.
Wanna come play euchre
You
with
ever
us?
bring pizza?
Yes.
You can't drink beer over there, though.
No, no beer.
Hey, maybe a new idea.
No, no. not
Okay,
a
so now it's
pizza.
time for Senior Service Advisory Board member comments.
Comments?
Nancy?
Oh, yes, I say we, you wanna save some money? Start charging for dessert instead of including that in the meal. I also think that,
You wouldn't
The-
save money, you'd make money.
exactly.
Yeah,
I also think that,
it's a good idea.
the entrees, if I'm going in just for the entree, and I would love to go in just for a nice salad, I'll pay more for that. Not $1.25 for the entree. You've got somebody that comes in there just to take the leftovers at the end.
I can't believe that was,
Had
I
that
learned that.
discussion before.
Pardon me?
We've had this discussion before.
I think we need to
but I
address it
do,
again.
I do think it's appropriate, though, to have a different charge just for entree.
I do
Because when you look at going to McDonald's, and you can't, what used to, do you remember the commercials? And change back from your dollar. And and they're holding this nickel, and they had a fry, they had a drink, and they had a little burger. Yeah, not much food, but nowadays, that same thing is $6. Or more, if you have any kind of substance, any bigger sandwich, you're paying like close to $10. So to have a nutritious entree and have it cost $3 is still a steal and still an incredible service to the community. I just
agree.
I just think that's it, and it's really not about, even though certain circumstances would be resolved, like those who may take advantage of the current structure. Beside that, it would be amazing if our seniors could take an entree home, put it in the fridge, and have a meal for that evening or for the next day when the senior center is not open.
A lot of people do that.
Yeah, but I think I'm sorry, I think $3 is still a steal, and I think it should really be considered
I agree.
Absolutely. And we
for sustainability.
We said the same exact thing the last time we discussed it, and it went nowhere. That's what my point is.
Did we actually put it in advisory form?
Yes.
Yeah.
How far did it go? Did it go to the board? Do you guys remember that? Did it go to the board as a suggestion?
I think it was discussed as a,
Raising prices, things of that nature.
separating prices.
Can we make it happen?
honest to God, we've done this.
I'm only one vote, so.
This
See,
year even.
Right,
And-
it doesn't happen. I mean, they don't really,
As James suggested, or we talked about earlier, with the diabetes prevention, that could be put at the same time they start charging more for dessert. See what I did there? Diabetes prevention,
I think that's a
charge
good thing.
more for dessert. So makes you stop and think, is this a good choice for me? I'm just saying.
How to increase revenue and.
And,
or
and be
healthy-
healthier
healthy.
for our community.
Yes.
Seems like we're gonna bring up something like that at the board meeting.
could you speak up, Sherry?
I feel like when I brought up, let's say not this subject, but subjects like that, I'm told that's micromanaging, and it's not supposed to happen. The board is not
That's true.
micromanaged.
I remember when you said that.
Yes, and it's about, that to me feels like everything. It's not my job or your job to micromanage anybody that's paid.
These are just
We're just
suggestions.
elected.
They play that card over and over again.
That's my feeling.
Interfering,
Yes.
interfering. Interfering.
Micromanaging. That's the word that's
Micromanaging.
often thrown back at me.
Well, I guess I have to say that.
Go ahead.
I was even told that just for the extreme that I felt it went, is Norm Fasteners.
Oh.
That was micromanaging, and I thought that should have gone to the voters. It was so huge and so impactful on this
On the community, and their,
I
yeah.
wanted it to go to the voters, and everybody looked at me like I was nuts. We can't micromanage. That's the building department's job. And that's how everything, to me, flows back to, why the hell are we here? Why are we elected?
I mean,
What
if
do
this,
people want me for?
if this board feels that increasing the cost of, you know, just these itemized types of things and potentially charging separately for dessert is a good idea because it provides sustainability for the service to our seniors, then, you know, I mean, it's not like this, we'll just raise prices thing. We've thoughtfully looked at this and it's a problem. And I don't know about the rest of you, I get tired of having it thrown in my face that, oh, this costs the town so much money. It's like, you're providing a service for a huge percentage of our citizens, and it's one of those humanitarian things as well. It's how we should want to define ourselves, that we care for those in our community who have the greatest need. And I don't think this is in conflict with that, because I get concerned about things being shut down. We've already lost 2 days. I get concerned about further cuts of these services to our senior community. And if charging $3 for the entree or charging a small amount extra for a dessert will help us continue in the foreseeable future to provide these services, I think that is a decision well made, and I think it's wisdom, and I think it's financial discernment.
Along with outside
How many-
communities paying if
How
they have
many
a large
come in
number.
just to buy the entree?
Langsberg, because they don't have a senior center.
I don't know, but they said that some people still take them home.
So we're on board
We got
member
one that
comments, so
comes just to
Nancy,
do
you
that.
made yours, Deb, have you made your board
I
member comments?
have,
Maybe I'm not done.
All right,
that's right, maybe I was just attaching it.
all right, go ahead.
Sorry, I can't think right now.
All right, Deb, what about you?
Well, I think I've kind of stated, I agree with her proposal that they charge more for an entree, and I think it's a good idea to charge a little extra for dessert. Doesn't have to be much, it could be just $1 for a dessert, or 50 cents for a dessert. I'm okay with that too,
50
but
cents.
just to,
Give
I
it-
mean, we need to help these services continue. And I think it's important that we do that, and I don't think it's cost prohibitive. And I think that if there is any concern that increasing the cost of entrees, for example, to $3, which is my suggestion, though no one else is
From what?
necessarily. From $1.25?
Yeah.
From $1.25
For the dessert?
for the
No,
for the
that's the entree.
entree.
Oh, for the entree, okay.
Yes, for the entree.
Yeah, double the
If anyone has a concern specifically about that, then I would also propose that there could be a hardship type of application that could be created if we're concerned.
We already do.
We already do that.
How so?
If you have,
We haven't talked about that.
if you
I
have
know.
Lunches.
Freezing.
People get free lunches. They have a.
EBT card,
Yeah. So we're already doing that hardship type thing.
Okay, so there, it's been, thank you. So
they don't
it's
have to
already
pay for
addressed.
it If they have an EBT card?
right, their income.
It doesn't
eligible.
even come off their EBT card? Huh.
Doesn't even come off there, huh?
Do we know how many
Do we know? No.
people?
We don't know
that's-
that, but somebody does. Okay.
And that could be, that could be an invasion of privacy. I'm not I'm not proposing that. I'm just, out of respect.
Right, so
But anyway, that's
they could give us a number. I mean, that wouldn't be hurting anything.
a percentage.
Do you know that, James?
I do not.
Okay. All right, I have concluded my comments.
Okay, well, what I've gleaned from all of this is that we need to get basically a job description of what this committee is supposed to do, what it's allowed to do,
Correct.
and what I say we because I'm part of this committee, what we would like staff to do.
Oh, don't put it that way.
What,
Changes that we recommend that happen.
Well, that's-
in the center. Don't
that's-
tell the staff to do.
no, we can't tell the staff what to do, but we can make recommendations.
Correct.
And I think that's gonna be important. We had some pretty good ideas here. Another thing is, that in regards to when and if this committee is combined with farmer's market, to me,
It's recreation
Whatever.
in the market.
there's farmer's market in there too. But anyway, I just think that's gonna be longer meetings, that's all. It's not gonna be a diminishment of the importance of this committee. So that, that's how I look at it. If you have a good member in there that is a really good, I don't know if you could have just one member,
I don't think you can.
because then you wouldn't.
I don't think you can, because look at the different perspectives and information and experience that people on this board have. I think it cannot help but dilute the message. It cannot help but dilute those who are passionate about this demographic in our town.
Well, and it's, the percentage of people over the age of 55 in the township is now 26.7%. And we're definitely not meeting that with that little building. Ray, anything else? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I guess to me, and I'm speaking of my own thoughts, you have to put unfortunately, you have to put a dollar amount of what you're willing to put forth to support the senior community. I mean, what you're doing in a nutshell is we are taking tax dollars and subsidizing our senior community. So unfortunately, what has to be done is you have to draw the line at, okay, I'm willing to go this far, but I can't go any farther than that, or I won't go any farther than that, because it takes away from other programs. That's a difficulty. Another thing I think should be done is, I don't know how that would work, but sit down with staff and say, okay, this is what we're gonna do, and this is what you're gonna do, and, job description, that's, to me, that's important.
I need to say something else.
Nancy?
Our Tuesday and Thursday euchre is not a township activity. It is put on by some of us that have put money.
Volunteers?
Yes.
Cool.
And we've rented the building.
I was just gonna say, do you have to pay a rental?
We do
Yes.
pay rental.
How much is it?
Well, $100 for the year until
Oh.
we terminate that, plus $1 per person that attends.
Oh, plus, okay.
Yes.
So
Where does that money go?
To the township.
No, I mean, is it literally in a little box and you bring it over here, or what?
No, we just bring it over and hand it. And they
Okay.
take it. We furnish them a list of people that attended.
Oh,
So
okay.
they know how many.
I don't know how it works, I'm just curious.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. But I do want you to know that it's invitation only, but you're
Wow.
invited.
Okay.
Well, only
Thank you.
because,
Can I get
That way you can ask someone not to come anymore
Can I
if
get that
they're,
already?
if they're inappropriate or.
sure, I'll give it to you in writing, Ray. But given that, come and join us for, a lunch. We meet at noon, have snacks, whatever you bring, and we do some pretty nice food.
I will just like to thank you, Nancy, for your dedication and your passion for bringing euchre to our community. You do this out of the goodness and the kindness of your heart, and we wouldn't have this most vibrant program at the senior center without you and your help, and I greatly appreciate it. This is the best attended program in the senior center,
The euchre?
euchre.
Oh, wow.
And they removed it, the township
4 people.
removed it from the list of programs that are provided by the senior center to our seniors.
It's individually, yeah, it's not by the
And now they
township at
make
all.
us rent. They don't let us use the senior center for that. They make us rent
So you go down to the community center?
the same thing, they would
It
make
would-
us
It would be the
rent.
same thing.
You're not.
In which case, we're getting big enough that we may have to start going to the community center.
I have to say though, $100 a year isn't,
She
that's,
doesn't.
No,
pretty
you pay
reasonable.
Point.
$100. You pay $100 deposit.
Whatever you
Oh.
wanna call it. It's a deposit and it's there
When she
until
gets
we,
done doing the program, she gets
until we're done.
$100 back. So what
Yes.
the cost is.
So she fronted the 100.
yes.
So what they're giving back to the township is $1 per person.
oh, okay.
But it's open, well, no, it wouldn't be open, because it's Tuesday, Thursday. Okay.
Okay, so good job. Dana, comments?
Yes, as long as we're bringing up old subjects that we tried to do before, I go back to my concern about when people come to the senior center for lunch, they have so many takeouts, they can't serve everybody that came into the senior center and sat down.
Ooh.
They have ran out of food because of the amount of takeout.
Because they do that first, we carry them out
It's
first.
correct, so I would like.
See, it should be
also
switched
look-
around.
They should switch it around. They should have, serve the people there first and then do takeouts.
That's common sense. I don't understand why they would not do
It's
that.
been suggested already.
They have a lot of takeouts and they do them first and they get them out of the way and they don't make, some people have to wait because they're coming late. But ahead of time, they do serve a lot. And I don't think that's fair to the people that come in there expecting to get a lunch and they go out the door.
I was there when somebody was at our table that they did not, it was a meatloaf night.
Yeah.
Oh,
They didn't even get their food, they came, drove all the way here, walked in, got the last seat, and they ran out of food.
They ran out of food. So it's
But
my
that never
proposal.
happens, that was brought up at a meeting and they said it's never happened.
It's my, what was happening to me?
That is.
Oh, it's
see,
happened to me
that-
as well.
That's the problem, Ray.
How could they
Just
say that?
because
If
they
they're
are,
not in attendance.
there has been times when there was not room for another person to sit down, and this administration has stated that is not a thing. That has not happened. And so that's part of what we are frustrated about, is that they won't even believe the reality of the situation.
When I brought it up at the meeting and they said.
Oh, I've seen a sign on the door, out of food.
Never been there before, never, a lot of the board members have never been there for a meal. Many, or once.
Which I don't understand at all.
Exactly. If
You're
you-
part of this community.
You're voting on.
If they want to check it
But
out.
sometimes you had food that I don't like. That's why
I
I don't.
agree.
So look at the menu and make your choice.
And we could, you know, and then change the menu, we have meatloaf that everybody loves.
And it's got ketchup on the top.
Once, yeah, correct.
That's a
Again,
sauce.
I'm not going to put that in the notes again.
It's not just ketchup.
Yeah, it's red stuff, whatever it is.
Oh, you don't like any
It's like a
barbecue?
barbecue.
My comment is that we should serve the people that are there first and then to those.
Absolutely.
I will tell you a little secret, Ray.
But it also has
Alyssa is
also- that has
wonderful.
also
She'll leave
been
that
brought
off
up
for you.
before also.
Cut the crust off my bread.
It adds a level of
cut it at
complication for the
diagonal if you
kitchen
really
staff that they just can't handle.
That's why the reason was,
I mean,
that was the excuse. But
and-
it seems to me it's doable.
All right, so.
What if it was in two time
James,
frames?
did you want to make any comments?
No, thank you all. Glad to be here.
All right, Sherry, public comment, last chance?
Just what we've been talking about, I think.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your wisdom. Thank you for coming. Greatly appreciated. Meeting adjourned. Thanks, James.
So James, hey
Be in
James.
touch.
She was
Oh,
assuming you were
James.
wise. Thank you for your wisdom.
Oh, no, she's seen evidence.
Doesn't want to hear another word.
I made it.
I'm so glad.
When are we going on a road trip?
As soon as I get my truck done.
October?
Really? October?
I mean, this is September, so
I
I'd have
have-
to say October. Oh, we need to turn all this,
Okay.
I have to call
yes.
Steve Hansen.